Hello, welcome to the channel. That's my dad. Well, it's a painting that I did of my dad. Right. Channel update. God, there's a lot of junk in this house. The channel. I need to do some fresh art. Definitely. Yeah, I mean, I have actually got art about that I could frame, really. If I wanted to change around a bit here. I just haven't got sorted out. Usual story. Hey, welcome to this. It's a channel update. So, quite reasonable weekend. It wasn't very good at Falkirk yesterday. It was at Falkirk Stadium. I don't really want to go into it, really. It's alright. It's close. Right. Saturday was okay. I went down to Drumbury roundabout in Edinburgh. Somebody got a bit confused. Some of the comments. What did I get? And thanks to John McLachlan for tipping me off about the speed humps in Falkirk. I think it's called Retail Park. And I was at a car boot in Falkirk yesterday and there was people mentioned it there. So I went round and had a look. Great videoing. I might actually go back round again. I could stand there all day videoing cars struggling to go over these speed humps. Yeah, I might do that today actually. You know, it's probably worse when it's raining. Because a lot of them were wheel spinning they weren't putting enough momentum into it. And they were wheel spinning. Right, okay, stop going on about that. Right, let's have a look. There's a lot of comments about that. That's that video there. Falkirk Retail Park, speed humps. War on the motorist. Says, yeah, hundreds of posts on Facebook of the new sleeping coppers in the retail park. Boycott of the retail park. I know they're talking about that, but I don't think people will boycott it. You know, I think the boycott is not the answer. We need to have firm action. Say, look, get these fucking things removed. It's actually the council. It's thanks for that comment, by the way. Johnny. It's the council, I think. Because I know it's just the retail park, but it's the council. It's a public road, right? So the council's got to sign off on that, right? Whatever you're thinking, council, that is not a solution for whatever it is you're trying to do. Stop traffic going through or whatever. I don't know what it is, you know, but that's not a solution. It's the council's to blame. Get on to the council. Boycott the shops, yeah, sure, that I can't see that working. Well, it would if everybody stopped going, yeah, of course it would. But people aren't really like that. You know, people will go. So really, it's get on to the council. There's lots of things we should be getting on to the council about. I suppose there's that thing where I don't want to go and stick my neck out and I'll end up getting into trouble when people aren't going to back me up, you know. I think that's the whole problem with it, isn't it? You know, you get too involved with some of these nasty, greedy people, like in the council or whatever. You know, they could do a lot of damage to you. Be honest, yeah. Of course they could. And this idiot, right, Richard Rutherford. Get a pair of balls. It's quite an inappropriate thing to say. Try driving in Jakarta or Taipei. So it's like, I was saying, what a cheeky bastard. So I says, system, I normally either block somebody like that or tell them, get back to work. So what I said to him, do you know that is a most inappropriate comment? I take it your emotional intelligence is zero, hence you wouldn't have made it. What he actually is he's actually quite thick. So on 2 counts, we'll have a look at it and see. I haven't blocked him, by the way. He's got what's this? That's Karen Strachan. That's who that is. He's watching. She's good.
Hi everybody.
I don't know if this is.
And I hope the title doesn't put everybody off, but someone commenting on my last video
11 years ago.
scoffed at my assertion that unless our attitudes start to change, society is sooner or later going to reach a fempocalypse. That is, feminism will eventually help bring about an economic and social collapse. A lot of people are really unable to wrap their heads around that idea because we've all been told ad nauseum that feminism is a cause of prosperity, when in reality it's largely, maybe entirely, a consequence of prosperity. I mean, let's consider patriarchy, or to put it another way, the social contract of marriage and fatherhood. This system benefited all parties in a world of largely manual labor, much of it since the agricultural age, simply beyond the physical capabilities of women. Remember that we're also a species whose offspring have one of the longest periods of complete helplessness and immobility of any.
Right, so I would advise anybody to watch her. Karen Strawn. Her videos seem to be about 10 years old. Well, that one's 11 years ago. I don't know. If you watch her videos, they're all brilliant. It explains... She explains where we're all going wrong, really. If you're a feminist... Well, if you're a feminist, you're going to be a bit thick. But please, if you are a feminist who's just been falsely led up that path, try watching her. But you can maybe get redeemed. Anyway, this guy is watching Karen Strawn, which is his playlist. That's good. Richard Rutherford. Well, Richard, what you should do before you comment on things is engage your brain. Because you obviously, I don't think you're probably not actually a thick person. If you're watching Karen Strawn, I agree with that. So that's what happened. See, I just had a look there. Firstly, I don't actually have any balls. So saying that is actually, inappropriate in that it's unthinking and hurtful, but I get that you're that thick that you didn't actually think about that. You also didn't think about the actual video. So it's called Getting on Drumbury Roundabout, Richard, right? Are you paying attention? Because you're obviously not paying attention, are you? So what Richard believed or thought, what I think he thinks or thought, was that I was talking about driving a car onto Drumbury Roundabout. And of course, because he's a very limited attention span, he didn't realise that I'm talking about me getting on Drumbury Roundabout. And I'm talking about getting on in the middle of it.
It's going to be impossible.
Right? Now, it's actually, what I mean by when I get onto a roundabout, I'm wanting to get on it, without hindering traffic. So certainly, I could just walk straight out there, right? And they'll probably stop.
Was it a spas or something it was called?
But I'm not going to do that, am I? So I've got to wait until there's a safe time to run across. And the reality is, there is no safe time. It's a danger.
That one over there.
And I'm putting myself at risk. And it's just, I'm that sort of person, right?
Passenger seat. And there's always traffic over here.
I might get killed doing this. But it's not going to stop me, is it? Well, the thought of being killed is not going to stop me. Being killed will stop me, yes, 100%. So that video, Richard, you dummy. Pay attention, Richard. I'm getting a big deal of this, really, but at the end of the day, it wasn't the most... It was abusive, but he didn't realise he was being abusive because he's dim, right? So, Richard, I have no balls. They're gone. And it's very upsetting, it's very difficult. It's a very difficult process to go through. It's stupid, yes. Hindsight and all the rest of it. But try and pay more attention to videos, right? I am trying to get on the roundabout on foot, not with a fucking car, you dummy. I hope I've covered that up. You're probably thinking, what the fuck? Right, let's move on. Right, health for review. Now this one's a tricky one. Well, there's one here. What the fuck he's saying? Copper's looking for. What the fuck he's saying? WTF? Oh, that's the accent. That'll be the Scottish accent. Right, that's what the problem is there. Right, I mean, I seen a thing about accents today on Facebook. A book. Somebody wrote a book about accents throughout the British Isles.
They're coming round. They're doing a go around. They did a go around type thing. So I don't know why they're going in there. Who knows? I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm going this way. They're coming round. They're doing a go around. They did a go around type thing. So I don't know why they're going in there.
Well,
Who knows?
Scottish accent at the end of the day, innit? It's like, well, what am I going to do? Start putting on a fake English accent or something? Is that what you want? Hello, doing a go around areas. Or, really go around? Are you doing a go around here? So, for you being a twat, I think we'll just block you, because fuck off. 1 subscriber, DN. It's also anonymous. Eminem. Oh, he's pretty thick, isn't he? Oh dear. Hide user from Chunel. Quite harsh. Not really, no. It's like, what the fuck he's saying? Who'd you taking the piss out of me in my bar, right? No, bog off. Right? That's that. This guy's actually said a reasonable comment to me before. So I don't think he really understands what he's actually asking. But nobody ever talks about my wheelie bins. Right? Don't ask me about my wheelie bins. Don't look at my wheelie bins. Don't make comment on my wheelie bins. You're not touching my wheelie bins. These wheelie bins are my wheelie bins. I worked hard for them to have these wheelie bins. My grandfather didn't have a wheelie bin. Neither did my other grandfather. So we've been brought up without wheelie bins. Now we've got wheelie bins. So don't you dare ask me about my wheelie bin. Ever. Do I make myself clear? How come you need to empty your wheelie bins at the tip so often? Right, so on one hand it's like, is this guy just asking an innocent question? You know, or has he been trying to be a dickhead, right? So I'm not actually sure. So in that sentence, there's already, it's one of these sentences where there's already, somebody's already worked something out or in their minds. So, I mean, I've put videos of me at the tip. I've probably taken my wheelie bin, so the grey one down there about 3 times. In actual fact, that video I did, and the guy asked me at the gate, and I forgot to say to him, I was in London, and I never put the wheelie bin out. It's once a month here in Stirling. I was in London, and I got, that is why I took my wheelie bin in the car. Otherwise we're going to have to wait another month. But, it's, I'm not answering, like, somebody, what I'm talking about here is if somebody makes up their mind about you or me or anyone, right? So he's come up with, I've been taking note of how many times you've been emptying your wheelie bins at the tip so often. So he's already worked that. He's already done an investigation. So he's already done that. And then he's asking the question. So you're on the back foot. If you try and answer that, it doesn't have to be this. It could be anything. Like, how come you're at the pub every night would be another one, right? I got asked the other day, this lady, how can you afford to run 4 vehicles? That's not exactly the same, but it's like, how come you're at the pub every night? Well, first, it's none of your fucking business why I'm at the pub every night. Or how can you afford to go to the pub every night would be, I said, well, it's fuck all to do with you, right? The same way I've got 4 vehicles, that's got fuck all to do with anyone as well, right? But my wheelie bins, I've got fucking 4 wheelie bins. Is it 5? I think it's 5. I've got wood in one of them. Because I always had this feeling I was going to get a wood burner. So I was collecting wood and stuff for it. I still haven't done it yet. So I'm just going to ignore that comment. If you read this channel update, don't ask me about wheelie bins. And just, I'm not going to block you. Because I don't think you realise that you're being a bit of a dickhead. Alright? And I do deliver mushrooms. And I actually have my uncle's got a farm. And I don't really want to say too much about that, right? So it's a secret. So I'll just remove it, right? So, there you go. 2760. Yeah. Right, did a little experiment. So that was on Saturday. It's coming along towards, it's coming out of Earth towards South Alloa, and I've seen the smoke. So that is actually either Throsk. It's actually, when you look at that picture, like, that's a video actually, but what you're looking at, obviously because the River Forth goes round, as rivers do, they meander, don't they? So that's either Throsk, or it could be Cambus, or it could be the recycling yard, you know, at Paul Mays. But I'm not actually sure. Quite a fire, and it sort of started dying down a bit. Great photos. I did some great photos of that, and a couple of it. The video wasn't that good because I was walking along behind bushes, and I had the extension thing on. I didn't realise all you're looking at was bushes, so I apologise for that. Well, what was I talking about? Right. So I'm doing a wee experiment. I'm keeping an eye on the subscribers, you know, and how it's rising. So it's like 325 in the last 28 days. So it's like 2760. So what I'll do is I'll write 2760. That's 9:30. And I'll have a look and see, you know, what it's like. I don't normally do this, but it's just interesting. I'm starting to rabbit on too much here, I get it, right? There was somebody on Facebook posted a picture of a grey Ford Cortina, which I have seen in the past. I've seen it parked outside Tesco's. It's a 4-door Cortina with the back doors welded. And so what I did was, so it's on Facebook in a group, I think it was a Cortina group or something. What I did was, there's it there. What I did was,
Distract them from the driving.
that one.
Oh, look at that! Oh yeah, we've made it! Oh,
See what happened there? I seen that Cortina. I was behind a sign,
Jesus.
and I moved to film it, and I fell in a hole, and it ruined the video.
Oh yeah, we've made it!
But I will say, these are shorts, right? And MD would like to know this information.
I'm out 3 Cortina.
Shorts, like there's shorts.
Usually, if you have a clip.
All that. Right. They're compressed. So like that video that I did, if you want to see the whole video, you'll see the whole Cortina.
Oh yeah, we've made it!
You know, going round the roundabout. So obviously I'm filming a landscape, and it squeezes it in. So sometimes the shorts can be a bit disappointing because they squash it in, and see in that situation there's it right in the middle, Cortina. My new phone's coming, by the way. It sometimes doesn't get its act together and, like, you know, focus properly. Freaking thing. Right. So what I'm going to do is see where my testicles are. I mean, where... Oh, fuck's sake. No, I didn't mean to say that. See how many people have been looking at my testicle. No. Oh, fuck, what am I saying? See how many people has been looking at my video. So what I did is I put it on this Facebook page because somebody posted a picture of that car, right, on Facebook in a car park in Stirling. Funnily enough, it was actually, the picture looks like it was along at the Springcurse retail park, you know, where Halfords is. So that's probably where he was going, right, that day. And sorry, we're all snooping on you, but if you're going to drive him up through Cortina, that's going to happen. So I put that. So let's have a look at. See, this is all live stuff. So so the Cortina had 1,509 views at 8:15. And then it had 13 views at 5 to 9. So what I suppose what I'm really trying to. So now it's got 16, right? And that's. I mean, I don't know if it's because I went and posted it on Facebook. You know, that's really what I'm getting at here. Am I? You know, because I went and posted it on. I mean, at the end of the day, I could post all my videos on Facebook, but I do occasionally, but it takes quite a long time to do that, eh? But so it's went up in the last hour. That's 8 views. So, please have a look at that video if you like. It's what's it called? Mark 3 Cortina Scale roundabout. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video, and it's quite interesting that the guy that said that I should have some testicles watches her. But Richard, men are doomed. Well, they're not doomed. No, they're not doomed. I think we're back to the hierarchy again, the hierarchical structure. I tell you, I tell you something. There's a lady you really should. I'm just saying stuff that I like here, right? And if you don't like it, don't like it. This is my Facebook page. So, what's happening? How do you get? Oh, you get onto your own profile by clicking on that. This lady here, right?
She lied to me in the beginning. She was so good. She was so good. She lied to me. She lied to me. She lied to me. Women never, ever, ever lie. Never do they lie. They might not say the truth, but they always show you the truth. Every woman that you've been with that has hurt you, used you, cheated on you.
See what that lady's saying?
A lot of men will say, she lied to me in the beginning. She was so good. She was so good. She lied to me. She lied to me. She lied to me. Women never, ever, ever lie. Never do they lie. They might not say the truth. You chose to ignore them. This is what women will do. And you chose to ignore them.
Red flags she's talking about.
You chose to ignore them. This is what women will do. They meet a man and they'll basically show their red flags in not so clear ways. So they might show it simply by how she dresses. And she might show you that she might be provocative. Or she might show you with her sexual behaviour. She might be very sexually liberal. She might show you in terms of how she talks about her exes. She might say that, this guy was so toxic, this guy was so this, that, I'm still in love with this guy, whatever it is. She shows you some of her traits. She might show you through how she is as a parent. She might not have kids and not prioritise them. Or she may have denied another man access to the children. And you think you're going to be...
So that's happened to me, right? So all said and done, this lady, and it's quite weird that it's such an attractive woman, can be spelling out the reality for the most part. I think really the problem is when you're young, well, the upbringing I had was quite difficult. My mother was mentally disturbed and my dad just fucked off offshore. So he tried when he wasn't offshore, but he wasn't really able to combat the toxic behaviour from the women, his wife, and general. Anyway, that's a long story. Anyway, this lady is actually telling you, the women did tell you, and the women and men, they can both learn from this. They did tell you the red flags, but you didn't. You chose not to listen because you wanted your hole. I don't think it's quite as simple as wanting your hole. It's not, and in my case, it wasn't. So she's brilliant, her. Sadia Psychology. So I don't know a young, attractive woman like that can be so bloody clever. What does that mean? Sorry if that sounds sexist. It does. Well, it is sexist. I don't know if I should let YouTube people go into my... I've got my Facebook page a little bit private, but I've got it that you can't send me a request unless, you know, you have a mutual friend. But I'm not sure if I'm going... I know, like, Hubnut, he has his Facebook page and has, like, thousands of people on it. I'm not sure I want to do that. By the way, I went right off him anyway. I don't even watch him anymore. Because of what he said about the 20 miles per hour speed limits. Because he was completely missing the point. He's been quite thick in a sort of NIMBY. He's been a NIMBYist, you know. And for somebody who's into cars and trucks, I mean, you can't be a NIMBY. And you can't be a twat. And I think he's a twat, so that's why I don't watch his videos anymore. And I've still got him on Facebook, but, you know, I think you need to stand up for people, you know. Stand up for what you believe in. If you don't believe in anything, then why should I watch your videos, you know? Right, so you're blabbering a lot of shit here. Right, so that lady said it all. I seen the red flags. So what happened to me was I can't see my granddaughter. I didn't even know I've got a granddaughter. They didn't even tell me. I found out through my daughter told me. And they're all up there. And I'm separate. I'm not allowed. And that's how it's worked out. But my son, at the end of the day, it's up to my sons. It's not... So I wouldn't want to give toxic adults any more room than any more spotlight than what they deserve. But my son, it's up to him, and well, my two sons, they are men, and if they choose they don't want to do with me, that's fine. There's nothing I can do about that, so I'm not pushing it. I'm staying away down here. If they wanted to come and see me, I'd be more than welcome, but they won't. But if they do, it'd be good. And really, it's time they stood up and be counted, and you know, just because one person has a big problem with somebody, it's massively unfair that you should be forced to take part in that. So you've got to see, even saying these things, what I'm saying now is giving it legs to a certain extent. So you have to be a mature person and not revisit stuff. I mean, like everybody's going to be accountable. You know, you might be accountable at the side of the road in a car. You might be accountable collapsing in the street, heart attack. You know, you might be disabled or injured. You might be receiving care. You know, and you really got to think about what sort of a person have you been, and you've got to sit there, and you've got to accept you've been an absolute cunt, right? And we all have to do it. And if you have, I believe I've done it to a certain extent. I'm talking about facing your demons. I am not saying that I'm not exactly religious. I'm not massively religious, but I do believe certain things. And you know, you need to go out. There was a lady when I worked in the care industry. There was a lady who was absolutely horrible to me when I did that job, and that's one thing I hated about that job. The care job was going to people that didn't like you. And a friend of mine said, "Oh, remember that lady who used to give you all that grief?" I said, "Yeah." And I looked her up and she's dead. She died in July. She was a horrible woman, really was. But partly it was maybe I'm not strong enough to be a carer, and that I wasn't strong enough to not get involved in the mind games and toxic behaviours that some people display. I wasn't able to switch off to that, which is a problem I've got. On the other hand, I was quite good at being a carer actually, because the ones that were receptive and, you know, had a good time with me, because part of that job is making people feel better, you know, but the government doesn't have time for that, right? They don't have time to make people feel better, and they don't want people to recover, because they don't care about you. You just bug off and die, is what they want you to do, okay? Right, so that's the end of this. This went on too long. I apologise. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Bye.